There is a new boss in town. Actually, there are two new bosses in town. Liz Truss, that is the Prime Minister, and King Charles III, that is His Majesty Prince Charles, who is now King Charles after the death of his mother. Things are getting a whole lot difficult to get admission in the UK. And yet, people are making some serious mistakes when applying. And I'm like, you don't have the luxury of other years. Thanks to the post-study work visa, UK education is getting more attractive to international students. So now there is a lot of crowd. Schools are now on a different level. They are rejecting people anyhow. Things they accepted in previous years, now they are not accepting it. So if you want to get ahead of the game, or if you want to make sure that your application stands out, there are some things you need to do. And if you want to find out those things, please keep on watching.
I'm a visual. Yeah, I kill it cold like a criminal. I'm everybody's type, but nobody can deny. Yes, you know I get it. I'm getting freaky. Yeah, I'ma bring the crazy. Get that freaky on. Get that freaky on. Getting freaky. Get it right.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Amomi, aka Petite Diva, and I am a University of Nottingham alumni and also a Developing Solutions Scholarship Award winner. In this educational series, I talk about the UK admission process, I talk about the UK visa application process, I also talk about tips and tricks on how to enjoy your stay in the UK, and I also talk about tips and tricks on how to earn more money as an international student. So if you like videos such as this, please consider subscribing by clicking on the red button that says subscribe, and don't forget to click on the bell notification icon by the side so that you're notified anytime I upload videos. Now, before we get into this video, I just want to remind you that I offer some UK educational services, and those services include SOP writing, academic civil writing, and the UK admission package. Now, the UK admission package comprises of me curating courses and schools that best fit you based on your educational background and work experience. I would also help you to write your SOP and academic sim, and I would also help you apply to the schools and courses that you've chosen. Now, the UK admission package comprises of 3 different options, and if you want to contact me for any of my services, please check the description box for my email address and then send me an email, or you can join the Telegram group, then send me a private message. Please, when you join the Telegram group, please check out the pinned messages and some of the previous comments before sending me a message. Some of the questions that you have are already in the group, so please take some time to check out the pinned messages and the comments before sending me a message. Now let's get into this video. Getting admission now into UK university is very hard. It's getting very competitive because a lot of people are now applying to the UK thanks to the post-study work visa. So you cannot afford to make some silly mistakes while applying or while researching on your school. In this video, I'm going to share some of the mistakes that I've seen international students do and how you can avoid it. The first one I have noticed is submitting subpar SOP. I don't know why at this point in time your SOP is not on point. I received some SOPs where I was told to help review, and I read them and I was like, wow, if I'm the admission officer looking at this application and considering the amount of applications that I'm receiving, some of them I'll just give a 0 and say, sorry, we cannot give you an offer, because some of the SOPs are just being somehow, some people are just being lazy. You are not ready to put in the work. Most of the SOPs, they didn't research on the school, they didn't research on the course, they research on the course itself, the program itself. How can you convince someone that you want to do a course without even telling the person that you put in the effort? You have to put in the effort. If the admission officer is getting people with similar educational backgrounds and work experience. What will make you stand out is your SOP. If your SOP is not on point, they will push you to one side. If your SOP is on point, immediately they will just give you the admission. Now, also, SOP is not a determining factor of whether you get an admission or not. Your SOP might be on point, but your educational background is not on point. They will still at least put you one side and consider you, but they might not consider you on time. Compared to somebody that presents a SOP and once its educational background is on point, work experience on point, that kind of people will be attended to faster than you, even though your SOP is on point, but your educational background is not on point. So you see some people apply for a course that you applied for, get it in 2 weeks because everything clicks, and those ones will be their first choice. Now, if you submitted a statement of purpose that shows you put the work, they might still consider you, but consider you at a later date, maybe when they've checked everything and they say, oh, we've not seen anything better, then you would be given an admission. The SOP is, like I said, is not a determining factor, but everything works together to give you the admission. So you cannot afford to submit a statement of purpose that shows that you don't put in the work. People will submit the same statement of purpose to different schools, just editing the name or something. You are supposed to put in the work. Show that you've researched on the course. So show that you know what you are going to do with the course, with the skills and knowledge that you gain from the course. You need to put in the work. So submitting a subpar SOP at this point is error. Big error. The next mistake I've noticed is people not researching on the tuition fee and the payment plan of the schools that they're applying to. Some people will apply, get an admission, and then appear shocked when they tell them to pay £6,000 for tuition fee deposit. Like, hello? If you check the website of the school, you would know that already. You would know whether they are paying, whether you are supposed to pay the remaining fees in 3 installments, 1 installment, or pay everything in full, or pay it in 7 installments. You finish getting an admission, you now come and say, oh, can I know the installment payment plan of this school? And I'm like, when you were applying, you were just applying. Now, because most of those schools don't have application fees, that's why people can do that. If you were paying £50, £100, you would do your research before you apply to a school. Please do your research before applying to a school, because when you get an admission and you cannot pay, you are affecting another person that could have paid. Or when you get an admission and you cannot pay, it might affect other people from your countries that are applying, because they'll be like, okay, these ones, they don't used to research, or they don't used to follow through after applying. So please research on the school fees and research on the payment plan before you just apply to any school. Now, the third one is not being realistic with the timeline. UK universities are experiencing a lot of crowd. I've been saying this thing and I'm saying it again. UK universities are experiencing a lot of crowd. So you have to be realistic with your time frame. Schools that used to offer admission or even give a reply in 3 weeks are taking up to 6 weeks, 8 weeks. I know somebody that applied in May, June for a January course and just received the offer in September. That's a lot of time that the person has been waiting for the offer. People will apply and expect to receive an offer in 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Yes, the school might write 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Some schools are very good and do 5 days. But those schools like Salford, they know what they are doing. And here's the trick that those schools do. Like Salford now, would just open the application for a certain section for like 2 or 3 weeks. After the 2 or 3 weeks, they've closed the application. So you cannot apply afterwards. They will answer those ones, see the ones that paid the deposit before now opening the portal again for some certain courses, and they will look at how many people have paid, is there still space, and then maybe open it for a week or 10 days. That's how they are controlling the crowd. Now, for the other schools that leave the application portal open for months, you should expect that they would take time. Now, like I mentioned in my other video, there are some schools like Bangor or some other schools that when you apply, immediately you apply, some 2 days after they've given you conditional offer. But you will see in the conditional offer that they will tell you to upload all what you submitted, which means they did not review your application. Just because you applied, you are given an offer. Then they will now start reviewing it, which could take up to a month or 5 weeks. And then if you feel you already have an offer, if they check and they feel that you are not qualified, they will tell you, oh sorry, we cannot offer you a place in this course and the rest. But most people will have felt, oh, I've gotten an offer. But most of the time it is when the second offer comes that you know, okay, I've gotten an offer, which is still the same time frame as other schools that are taking their time to review. And you might just get a conditional offer that the only condition is to pay your tuition fee, or you might even get an unconditional offer and then the only way to secure your space is to pay your tuition fee deposit so that you can get your class early. So you have to be realistic. You cannot expect them to give you an offer in 2 days, 3 days, or 2 weeks. So be realistic with the expectation of your offer letter or rejection letter or anything. Try to give them at least 4 to 6 weeks or 8 weeks. Right now it's like 4 to 8 weeks now to reply you. You can always send a mail to the international office or your regional team office to just try and motivate them or remind them that you submitted an application. You can also during that time try to do other things, maybe book for TB test if you're from Nigeria or Africa, or you could also try and check other schools to apply. But the point is, most schools are taking 4 to 8 weeks to reply students. Now, the fourth thing I've noticed is people are adamant on applying for specific courses. I know that people are interested in applying for courses that would help them get tier 2 jobs afterwards, but you need to be realistic when you are applying. You cannot have an industrial chemistry background and apply for a biomedical science course. It's not possible. You need to be realistic. That kind of person would get an admission in something like analytical science. But going to biomedical science, biosciences from a pure basic chemistry course is not possible. But when you tell people those things, that you cannot get an admission in this course, you don't have the educational background, you don't have the work experience, it's like you are after their progress. But this is being realistic. You will tell some people, try and apply for another one that you are best fit for, or maybe a conversion course that you have some experience in. It will be like, oh, my friend applied last 2 years and got an admission. She didn't have anything related. But last 2 years and last 3 years are different from now. Now they have a lot of people. So they are going to select the best person that would come to their school and not struggle. Oh, I did Bachelor of Arts in this course. I want to do social work. I want to do nursing because I heard it has great prospects. You get a job, blah, blah, blah. Not because you have a passion, just because of the job. And then most of those courses will tell you, okay, do you have a volunteer work experience of so amount of hours? Where's your portfolio? And you don't have. Some people are forging it. And I'm like, you want to be a nurse and a social worker and you're forging the work hours, you're forging, you are committing fraud already before even getting to a course or a career that is very sensitive. And I'm like, wow. Personally, for people that come to meet me for nursing or social work application already, I will tell you, here is your volunteer work hours document. Where's the portfolio? Where is the logbook? I want to see it, and I want to see it signed. I don't accept any offer for nursing or social work without it. That is my own personality. There are people that I've seen that are helping people to feel it and forge it. That's your business. But for me, I must see it and I will know if you forge it. Pure blank, period. I don't subscribe to those kind of things. So this is just a warning. Another thing people need to know is that you need to have options. If you are insisting on one course, try other courses. I know you might be passionate about one course, but right now there are a lot of people that might even have more qualification or experience than you. Why don't you also try other courses? Now, for instance, HND holders are really not finding it funny, but those who have work experience are getting admission in schools that I did not even know give HND. I found out that hall that most people say they don't give admission to HND holders. I found out that somebody got a master's degree offer from them. For NTU, I did not know that they offer master's program admission to those that have HND. I've seen people that have gotten offer for master's program in NTU. It depends on your work experience and also the course they're applying for. Don't have HND and go and apply for a course that is out of your educational background or work experience. Don't be so unrealistic at this point in time. You might think you have all that it takes to get a particular course, and then you find out that no, you didn't have what it takes. And because you are so adamant on one course, you might lose out on the other courses that you could have done. Now, having health education background in by your BSc and applying for nursing, you might think it is going to get you the nursing degree, and then they tell you, oh, sorry, you cannot get an offer, or sorry, we cannot offer you. The statement is, oh, sorry, we cannot offer you a place in this program, so I'm sure you are disappointed, blah 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 blah. But if you had gone for public health, you probably would have gotten that course. Just saying. Now, the fifth one is one I've mentioned so many times on this channel, and that is not checking your offer letter to know the amount of days your course is going to run for. I saw someone complaining, oh, my visa validity is from September 2022 to November 2023, and I'm like, well, you means your course was less than 365 days, because normally if it was more than 365 days, it would be from September 2022 to January 2024. So you need to check your course length to know whether it's going to give you the extra 4 months or you will get only 2 months extra. So please check if you have to correct it before you apply for your visa or before you even pay for your deposit, so that your cards will carry the new date. Please check and let them know. Anyway, that is all for today's video. I hope you find this video helpful, and I hope it helps you on this your UK educational journey. Now, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you are not yet subscribed, please consider subscribing by clicking on the red button that says subscribe, and don't forget to click on the bell notification icon by the side so that you're notified anytime I upload videos. Now, with all that said, thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.
I'll be on the top killer. I'll be on the top.